Hey everyone, I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer, and I am not a news channel. What exactly does CDPR think they're doing here? In total, they announced 8 different games today in what was supposed to be an investor call. On the day I'm recording this, October 4th, 2022, CD Projekt Red had their quarterly investor call, this time calling it a change in future plans. Unlike previous investor meetings, this did not come with a PowerPoint presentation live broadcasted out to those investors. Instead, it was a pre-recorded video that premiered on their YouTube channel. This pre-recorded video, at about 15 minutes in length, announced 8 different games and many other media projects that fit within their current franchises. It should be noted that CDPR has open applications for all of their studios taking place right now on their website. All of these upcoming projects are announced to have multiplayer in some capacity. However, it has been confirmed that all previous multiplayer development, such as Cyberpunk 2077's own cooperative open world multiplayer, is officially canceled and will not be brought back in any meaningful capacity. The Witcher 3 Next Gen will of course be out by the end of the year, but no date was set. Okay, so with all of the spring cleaning out of the way, first and foremost, they announced Witcher 4, 5, and 6 at once. Witcher 4 is still in pre-production, and they have stated that the majority of the development time is spent on making the tools that will later craft that game. So before any legitimate gameplay development has taken place, they have announced Witcher 4, 5, and 6. This was done to bolster the investors' opinion of CD Projekt Red, especially following the blunders that took place in 2020 and 2021. But it is very, optimistic, in my opinion, to announce 3 major AAA titles at the same time when your most recent AAA title didn't launch in a great state. The Polish studios are working on parallel AAA development. This means that right now we have Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, and The Witcher 4 in development. However, when Phantom Liberty ceases production, that team doesn't start pre-production on Cyberpunk 2. We'll get to that. They're also going to be helping out with The Witcher 4. So that parallel AAA development is all focused on The Witcher, because at the same time the Polish studios are attempting to develop 3 new Witcher games that will release within 6 years of each other, the North American studios, which they've just announced they're opening a new one of, located right next door to the Mollassis Flood, a studio they just acquired, will be working on the future of Cyberpunk. Project Orion, aka Cyberpunk 2, hasn't even started pre-production. Hell, the main studio that it will be made in doesn't even exist yet. Pawel Sasko has confirmed that he's moving to Boston with the core team responsible for Cyberpunk 2077 to establish the new studio. So they're working together with the main crew, and Pawel seems to be very much in charge of it. Holy shit. It's obviously to hire new employees, to get people wanting to work in the North American development field on Cyberpunk. That's fine, but wow, this feels a bit like deja vu in my opinion. Mollassis Flood, the Boston-based studio that has been working on other projects, is not working on Cyberpunk. They're working on their own Witcher game, a Witcher game that is stated to have broader audience appeal and is not something for people who like open world, story-driven, dark-themed RPGs. Okay, fine. Is it like a Bloodborne clone then? And then on top of that, CD Projekt is working with third-party studios on their own IPs, and although there are multiple conversations and negotiations going on for other IP development in other third-party studios directed by CDPR, they did announce that one major game, a full-blown Witcher open-world story-based RPG, aside from Witcher 4, 5, and 6, is in development at a separate studio that is helmed by previous developers of The Witcher 3, which it was rumored to be Rebel Wolves, a studio consisting of a lot of ex-CDPR employees, but they have confirmed on their Twitter that it is not the case. And then they bragged a little bit about how Geralt and Ciri and other Witcher characters have been appearing in third-party titles, other titles like Lost Ark. And then they also heavily hinted that there is a future collaboration that they're very excited about coming up. I will bet anything that it's Fortnite. They're in bed with Epic heavily right now, so I mean, it's a no-brainer. And then they announced that the Polish studios are in like super pre-production on an entirely new game that's a new IP, separate from The Witcher or Cyberpunk, which would make it the first IP that CDPR has made entirely on their own, because obviously The Witcher is a fantasy book series and Cyberpunk was a tabletop RPG, so this is brand new. It's called Project Hater, and we know nothing about it. The investors questioned it during the live Q&A, and they refused to give anything, and then they went, oh, we're out of time, and then bolted. Look, I love the developers at CD Projekt Red. The developers, the writers, the level designers, the quest designers, artists, everyone. Incredibly passionate people who love what they're doing. The executives scare me so bad. This is all executive decision work. I don't know why this needs to be public information. It's so much to take in all at once. CDPR announced that they have been developing a quote-unquote usability lab, which is an entire wing of their studio dedicated to close-knit, in-house QA with a focus on accessibility for all players to be able to experience their games. That's great. CDPR also confirmed that they are now working on the always working game rule, something that I have talked about in the past, but is good to have a confirmation on. It means that at any point in development, there is a build of the game that can be booted and played to some extent. This allows for much easier QA and testing of all systems and their effect on every other system. This was one of the problems that Cyberpunk had through its development, so it's great to see that course correct. Also, they effectively confirmed that there are many more television and film projects in the works. Cyberpunk Edgerunners was mentioned multiple times as a massive success, so it is very easy to assume that there will be more Cyberpunk television or film projects down the road. It's also been confirmed that not a single one of these projects is a mobile game. And what's interesting is nothing was said about Spoko, that new CDPR studio that worked on the Witcher Monster Slayer, that Pokemon Go clone. So no idea what they're working on. No idea what the Gwent team is up to. This is all just focused on CD Projekt Red, and it's a total of 8 new games and the promise of many more in the future from third parties or internal studios or from new IPs, and it's a lot to take in at once, and it's very difficult to trust that all of this can be done. In my own personal opinion, it felt like the executives were spreading the developers at CD Projekt Red way too thin through the development of 2077, and now it's like they're a piece of paper, it's so thin. Obviously, they're going to want to hire as many people as they possibly can, so if you do want to work on Cyberpunk in particular, and you live in North America, there are studios in Vancouver and Boston that have open applications right now. If you know how to work with the Unreal Engine, great, you probably have a shot. But they just ran up to everybody during what was supposed to be an investor meeting, dropped the announcement for 8 different games, and then left with no dates, and we're likely not going to be hearing about any of these for years. The Witcher 3 Next Gen, very soon. Phantom Liberty is just called 2023, and then they'll disappear for a couple of years at least. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. I'm confused as hell, but I'm having a good day, and I hope you're having a good life. Follow my Twitter and join my Discord server, Tyler_MCV, and I live stream every single day. Thank you very much for watching. Adios.